Hello everybody. Welcome to the chapter Synthetic Fibers and Plastics. So children, we have learnt about fibers in class 6, class 7 and this is class 8 that we are going to talk about fibers. Class 6 it was natural fibers of plants, class 7th fibers from animals, and now we are going to talk about synthetic fibers and plastics. Synthetic fibers means artificial fibers. Artificial fibers. Now, what are artificial fibers? Fibers which are man-made. Fibers which are obtained from the nature are called natural fibers, which we directly take from the nature and we process it and make it into a yarn and we make fabric out of it. But synthetic fibers are man-made fibers. They are a kind of chemicals which are mixed and made in the factories and then they are spun into fabric. So, a synthetic fiber looks like a chain of small units. Children, it looks like your bead mala, something like this. You can see some beads are there. All these beads are woven together. So each one is a single unit and this makes one synthetic fiber. So this fiber is made up of small units and all these units together like beads will form a polymer. What is it? Polymer. So, first we'll be talking about the types of synthetic fibers. One is rayon, nylon, polyester, acrylic and many other different varieties we get today in the market. We are going to focus mainly on rayon, nylon, polyester. Now you can see on the screen, you can see a cloth or a picture I have kept. You can see it. Maybe you cannot feel the texture of the cloth, but it is rayon. Now, rayon is not completely artificial. I am saying that these are man-made, and now I am saying that it is not completely artificial. Means, one of the raw material is a natural product taken from nature, that is wood pulp. Wood pulp is taken from nature and then it is mixed with other things to make a fabric or a fiber. Fabric is the end product of fibers. So, this is also known as, rayon is also known as artificial silk. Children, you must have seen silk. Your mother wears on wedding, whenever she attends a wedding or a pattu sari or a pattu lehenga. It's made up of silk. The silk, when you touch it, it has a lot of shine, it is very expensive and it is also very soft. Everybody cannot afford to buy a silk. So people, when only rich, only very kings and queens used to wear in the earlier days and later on now, people are buying silk but it is quite expensive. Then came this material called as rayon. It is also known as artificial silk. Means it looks like silk. It has all the properties of silk. Like it can be woven into many fibers like silk. It can be woven. It can be dyed into variety of colors. It looks like silk. Its texture is like silk. Like silk. It is not silk. So, it's artificially made, cheaply available and it can be dyed into many colors and it can be weaved like how silk fiber is weaved. It can also be weaved. And people can carry it like a silk cloth or a silk sari or a silk kurta. So, rayon is mixed with cotton to make bed sheets or mixed with wool to make carpets. So, rayon is artificial silk and its natural source is wood pulp. Next, nylon. Children, you are wearing a lot of things made up of these artificial fibers, but we did not get an opportunity to discuss about them. Your socks are nylon, your ribbons are nylon, your toothbrush bristles are nylon. The curtains which we are using are nylon. You have nylon ropes, the fish wire, everything is made up of nylon. Tents, car seat belts, sleeping bags, all these things are mainly made up of nylon. So nylon is another man-made fiber. In the year 1931, it was made without using any natural raw material. Now the earlier one we have talked about is using wood pulp as natural material. But nylon is made from all artificial materials: coal, water and air. Coal, water and air. Now children, there is another material, natural material called as cellulose. Cellulose is nothing but it's made up of large number of glucose units. Glucose units. So cellulose is obtained from cotton. It is natural. Okay. So nylon is an artificial fiber. It is totally made from coal, water and air, and it was the first fully synthetic fiber. Okay, what are the properties of nylon? It is strong, it has good elasticity, it's light in weight, lustrous. Lustrous means it has shine, and it is easy to wash. So your school uniform socks are nylon socks. It's easy to wash. It dries up quickly. Low maintenance. And nylon ropes are very, very famous. You can see nylon ropes are used for paragliding or para jumping. They are very strong. They are stronger than a steel wire. So nylon ropes are very popularly used for making parachutes and ropes for climbing. So a nylon thread is actually stronger than a steel wire. So we have talked about rayon, we have talked about nylon. And we have talked about cellulose, which is a plant fiber which we are using these days as it is biodegradable. Now, polyester. You might have heard people talking about polyester, and you may not be able to identify what is polyester. So your school uniform shirt, the moment you touch it, most our school uniform shirts are polyester. We don't get them in cotton at all. Earlier we used to have white dress, so white cotton shirt people used to buy. But now your present school uniform is made up of polyester. Polyester. Poly means many, and ester is nothing but a small unit which gives smell to the fruits. So many esters have joined or put together to make a fabric called a material called as polyester. It's made up of repeating units of chemical called an ester. Now polyester shirts, polyester skirts, polyester pants, these things we are using, and they are mixed with other things also, with polycotton, polywool, terrycotton. These are the different combinations of polyester which people are using for fabrics. So fabrics are sold by names like polycot, polywool, terrycotton and polyester. Now, terylene is a popular polyester. You might not have seen terylene, children. Terylene is like a party wear shirt with lot of shine. In olden days or in 70s and 80s, the heroes used to wear that. A very shiny material. Then PET. PET is a familiar form of polyester. PET jars, making water bottles, utensils, films, wires and many other useful products are made with this PET. Now, uses of polyester. Imagine if your school shirt would have been a cotton shirt. You cannot wash it daily. You will not wash it daily, that's another thing. But cotton shirt, if you wash it, it will take a lot of time to dry. You need to iron it or put starch and all that. But a polyester shirt is wrinkle free. Just from the washing machine you can take and wear it. It dries very quickly, easy to wash, low maintenance and cheap. Of course it is cheap compared to other materials. Then there is another material called as acrylic. So acrylic is also another kind of material, artificial material which is used, and the wool obtained from natural sources is quite expensive, whereas clothes made from acrylic are relatively cheap. So you have pashmina shawls which are made with the natural fibers and they are very, very expensive. And you get a blanket which is very cheap for 250 rupees and a sweater for 120 rupees or something like that. So these artificial fibers which are used to make shawls and blankets are nothing but acrylic. So synthetic fibers, the characteristics of synthetic fibers. Synthetic fibers dry up quickly, they are durable, less expensive, readily available, easy to maintain. So dry up quickly, you can just dry it up under the fan. If we are talking about fabrics, they are durable, you can use it for 1 year, 2 years also. They are cheap, less expensive. They are available, that is manufactured in the factory, so it's manufactured in a large quantity, so it is readily available and zero maintenance. Just wash and wear, and you can use it, especially the plastic containers and all. If you drop them also, they'll not break. They can be reused again and again. So these are the advantages of synthetic fibers. So what are the disadvantages of synthetic fibers? That if the clothes catch fire, it can be disastrous. If you're wearing a synthetic cloth on a Diwali day, especially on Diwali days, while you're playing with the crackers, you're asked to change your clothes. You change to cotton clothes because they catch fire immediately. The fabric melts and sticks to the body of the person wearing it. So, we should therefore not wear synthetic clothes while working in the kitchen or in a laboratory. There are other disadvantages of synthetic fibers we'll be talking about in the next topic. All the synthetic fibers are prepared by a number of processes using raw materials of petroleum origin called petrochemicals. So children, what did we study today? We talked about different types of synthetic fibers, rayon, nylon, polyester, and advantages of synthetic fibers. Thank you, children.